Okay, hi everybody. So this is this is just me combing out my hair. Hold on a second. I had it in a ponytail again and it did something weird. Hi. Hi, I'm Noelle Rose Anderson Kale, and I am the Dance Warrior. I am raw, real, and uncensored. What you see is what you get, basically. And I love to help people. Yes, you beautifuls and beloveds. I like to encourage people. I like to try to figure out what the hell is going on in our world, too. Doesn't matter what your job is. Everybody should be a little concerned right now. And, yeah. Not just dance. So, I have a nice, wonderful human being here joining me. Say hello.
Hi.
So, chime in when you feel you want to chime in. So, what we have been doing is not only roughing it in more senses of the word, because we cannot really sleep in our apartment. Gee, I wonder why. But, yeah, I'm being facetious. I think I am allowed to be a little facetious right now because of what's happening. So, look at this. Forced perspective. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. So, beautifuls and beloveds, we've been just trying to figure out what a lot of this ruckus is about chemtrails, and that's not really our thing. I do not get into the whole thing about conspiracy theories. I don't believe in aliens. It's just no. But I'm concerned about what we have been seeing, and for the past few years, I know this has apparently been going on for decades. And yeah, I have noticed it throughout the decades, but it has gotten worse. And it's only when the frog in boiling water dies, usually, that it's too late. So we kind of jumped out. And we're like, well, what the hell is really going on here? And we've been finding some interesting things, so I just wanted to present some things to you. So there's this yourdailyjournal.com opinion, backslash opinion, backslash columns, backslash 79582, backslash chemtrails, hyphen what, hyphen r, hyphen they, hyphen spraying. Alright, so we've been reading this. Interesting, you know, you got people here that are saying that they are professionals and they know everything about what they're talking about. And there are several sides of the fence with this. You have people saying, well, condensation trails versus chemical trails. So contrails versus chemtrails, but I think there's a happy medium in between there. That kind of explains more. You know, my dad always said, follow the money. Okay, let's just do that. So we have a commenter here, and I won't say who the name or the handle is, but they're saying things like, so you mean to tell me that this conspiracy theory is actually not only going to jeopardize all of humanity in a genocidal attempt or whatever they're doing it for, is also going to affect their families too. Well, let's poke holes in that argument because I love doing that. So let's do that real quick. Yeah. Look, yes, they would spray themselves. You really need to get those books somehow.
Okay, well...
Can you go outside?
No.
No.
No, because everything would fall out.
Ah, crap. Can you shift things over?
No, because the lid is too heavy.
The lid?
Or the lip of the shelf or whatever.
Oh, the shelf is active, I see.
And it dips down in the front, and the pockets and the case bulge out, so I can't
So you can't pull it out for crying out loud. That means you have to take things off from the top and put them on your seat.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, okay, let me get back to this. I can poke holes in anything and actually have substantiated fact to demonstrate my point of view. So here's the answer to that. The answer is yes, but not so flippantly and foolishly. The corporation, for lack of a better term, they think they have the antidote. What is the antidote? Well, they let themselves be known because we found the antidote ourselves. And it's not just one little vial of something, but it's a crap load of shit that you have to apply, ingest, do. And, yeah. So the answer is yes, they would risk their own because they think that they can fight this, like, really, and win. And it's getting to the point where everybody is feeling it, even their own. And so how did we figure this out? Well, let's go back just to last year. We might have to go back further. Let's just go back to last year. We were noticing, and if you look at our videos, there has been an overabundance of this white dust crap. And we're in Los Angeles area, in the valley on the other side of the hill. So we noticed that it was getting worse and worse. And I was like, why do our symptoms flare up when we're outside? We would just go for walks and we're like, our hands are swelling. What the WTF is going on, right? And I'm like, And you think, well, because we had a friend that was telling us about, chemtrails. And I'm like, what? What? We were going for a hike. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I didn't blow this person off. I actually thought and I listened because I always wondered what the hell that was. And my dad and military in the family, condensation trails versus chemtrails. Condensation trails, you have to have the aircraft at a certain elevation, and they're only going to be a certain amount of thickness, and they evaporate pretty much very quickly. They shouldn't be lasting more than a few minutes at most. And then you have chemical trails, which actually leave its mark in the sky. And you can see it from our videos because we wanted to find out ourselves. Do this yourself and find out. And that's how, I don't want to say we became true believers. I'm not into this conspiracy theory. There's some flaws on both sides of the narrative here, and I will show you. So we videotaped it and we saw the stuff lasting longer than condensation trails are supposed to last. So we did the chemistry, history, studying, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What the hell is it? Why do we feel funny? And we go inside. This was before our apartment was being fumigated or whatever the hell was going on with it. And I'm like, obviously it's outside. And then we would look up at the weather versus the Doppler. This stuff wasn't showing up in the Doppler, but the weather reports of a certain company, I won't say who, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Look for the frog, man. And you'll figure it out, really. Look for the frog. And I was like, wait a minute. Why they're saying it's cloudy, but it's not cloudy. What is this stuff? And at the beginning of all of this grand experiment, there was a whole bunch of crap on our cars, and we were getting it tested, and there was all this toxic crap. And I'm like, okay, great, because it would fall when the sky was heavily sprayed with this white dust. I'm like, what's happening? And you can see from our videos too, they would get thicker and disperse. Sometimes they would form into clouds, and I call them chem clouds. And some goofball here, I think, is trying to steal my terminology and started using that. And I'm like, oh, great. So are some of the commenters, not even real, and the narrative of both sides are being controlled by the one, by the they, by the corporation. I don't know, call it whatever you want. I have no idea who these people really are, but I can take a stab and guess at it. So a lot of people commenting say, oh, I've seen this from the 60s, and it's gotten worse. And there's a lot of hint drops. There's this one guy named Jack Henry. I don't know. It's just really interesting because some of these names actually mean something to this corporate group. And there's this other one who's very much against President Trump and saying really horrible things. So you also have to look at what both sides are saying. Barium, lithium, there's a whole bunch of things. We've found things like some kind of steroid. So there's two things there. You can gain, I call them bodas, little things like this. That can be your body protecting itself. so it doesn't go into your internal organs. Or it could be, interestingly enough, a reaction to inhaling, unfortunately, steroids. So, I mean, inconclusive data, yes, but we're thinking about this stuff. I want to find out what the hell is going on. So I'm not taking anybody's sides. I'm just saying we did our own experimentation. So you've got that going on. And let's take it a step further here. So we started wearing our masks. Wait, I've got a whole bunch of these. I'm actually getting excited about these things for a reason, because I'm learning more and more about science. So this was the original one that my dad gave. And by the way, you can sterilize these and reuse them. This one, maybe it's seen its last of its best days. But I double mask. My dad said double mask. But this is, the N95 mask. And you use this supposedly now for the coronavirus. Well, we did our own experimentation. Let me just show you real quickly. Look, you spray this. Achoo! It goes right through. Let's just blow that one out of the water real quick. Isn't that amazing? And this becomes saturated with your germs, and then, you touch it, spread the germs, whatever. We weren't wearing it because of coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever the hell it's called. We were doing this because of the stuff in the sky. And when we wore these, the particles were large enough that this was effective then, as of last summer. And so, right, we would wear them when we went into stores too, because, I've had people tracking me, following me, and I'm like, is it their security cameras? You know that trick, right? Cover your ears because they can do facial recognition. That's one of the parts that they look at, and your eyes, your retinas. So, at that time I didn't know about that, and I had to educate myself on that element. So we were wearing our masks in the store thinking that would prevent people from IDing me. And then all of a sudden I have all these people trying to watch what I'm buying and, following me up and down the aisles. I'm like, all right, this is old. And so after we kind of figured this out, we're like, okay, wait a minute. When we wear our masks, it helps us health-wise. And then we weren't getting any symptoms. And then it started happening more and more. It didn't just happen during June gloom, which I think is bullshit. I had never heard of that. I lived here before, people. There was no June gloom. It would just happen randomly during different times. It wasn't always in June. And it never amounts to anything. And this goes further inland, so this is not the marine layer that the June gloom was supposed to be. This is a lie. So we know because we actually drove and tracked it, and we have it, right? Our travels on video, and we went up to the mountains, we went to different places, and wow, we're just blowing holes in everything because I'm so sick of these liars, whoever it is. Not condemning the people of this site that we're looking at or anything like that. There's a whole bunch of people lying, and it's on both sides. So here's the thing. We also noticed that it was happening more and more during holidays, especially, and we have video. And I'm sure you guys have seen it if it hasn't been taken down. It was like that Monday before Thanksgiving. It was very heavy, and we could go outside, but again, we had to wear our masks because it was just so it was just gross, you just feel kind of And then it happened during the Christmas break, and then 2 weeks before COVID started happening. Oh my, what a coincidence, right? And we have video of all this, and we have snapshots of the weather and Doppler, and they were not consistent. And it caused quite an alarming sensation for many people around us, because they're like, do you see what we're seeing? Is this right? And then 2 weeks after that, and that coincided with when whatever was being dispensed into our apartment unit. And so we were getting the worst of both worlds, inside and out. It was like we were being gassed from being outside, so we had to go inside, and then that wasn't good enough for these people. We were gassed outside. So then I'm like, okay, and then we noticed they were even doing things into our vehicle, and we put a stop to that. Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for all those people who helped us. But yeah, it was getting a bit ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, because we even had people that were coming to our home. This is before the COVID, thou shalt not speak against COVID, and you can't go near anybody during this time period. And they were in our car, and like, oh my God, they were getting ill like we were. So I'm like, and then once we got to a safe place, then all symptoms subsided like instantly. So we obviously knew we didn't have some weird virus disease bullshit going on there. Okay, so now let's just bring it up to speed. We're current. So this is June, right? Oh, June gloom, right? Another lie. And you know what? We lived in Vegas and we were told a lie that, oh, it's from construction. No, my father worked in construction and so does other people in my family. That can't actually happen, because if it was happening, these companies that were building this stuff would have been put out of business because they would have had to pay hefty, hefty fines. And the dirt in Vegas is not white. Sorry to disappoint you guys. So you have, and I've been to construction sites, they have to have that water tank. And we had video of this even back then, because I was just curious where all this dust was coming from. But let me tell you something, when we had all those implosions, it's getting hot here, hold on. When we had all those implosions in Vegas, we recorded a couple, but that is more significant to look at, and that is more like, you know, in Sesame Street on the show, right? You guys remember that? Which one of these things ain't like the other? Well, if you put up the after effects of an implosion, there's all this white crap and dust, versus the white crap and dust that's out here versus the white crap that was in Vegas and all that dust. They look identical. Identical. That tells me a lot, that toxins are being sprayed in our air. There's similarities, okay? So, yeah. Pretty much. So, holes, and yes, they will go and involve their own and risk their own. Because, really, let's say you have somebody who's in control, head honcho. I don't think there's just one. You remember that All in the Family episode with Archie and Jefferson's, what was it? Cousin, brother, something, right? And you say, well, I thought I was number one. They're both thinking that and saying that, well, how can you be number one? Because I'm number one. And it wasn't locked. Can you also go in and get me some kind of, that drink that I usually get? I don't want to say what it is.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's put this back here.
I'll need some more money. But
I'm so sorry, I forgot you had left, and I just like, I don't want that. I don't want to, I'm gonna.
5 do it?
no.
No, it's like 8. You need a 10.
Yeah, there's 10 bucks.
It is hot. I wish it would rain, because it would like wash the stuff out of the air. It's not gonna rain. They don't want it to rain, because they know it would help. Okay. What was I talking about? Which one of these things is not like the other?
Yeah.
Where did I let leave off?
Let's just start it from there.
Huh?
Just start it from there. What was the example for?
Well, see, I get distracted.
The most obvious thing was comparison.
Comparison, right. So you learn comparison, hopefully, like if you have Montessori, sorting, right? And comparison, learning and teaching. That's how I learned. That's how he learned. And everybody has a different skill set for learning. Mine was the strongest with comparison. Since then, I've taught myself and I've grown. So I learn better now, maybe, with my weaknesses. Not better than my visual comparison, but better than I used to in these other areas. So we were just comparing notes, and I'm like, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is what this is more likely to be. So I'm always like, I really don't believe in conspiracy theories, because some of them are a little over the top and outlandish. I'm just trying to be honest, not trying to belittle anybody, but I applaud everybody for asking questions. That's where this starts, because I don't think we've been told the truth. Do you? I don't think so. because there's too many unanswered questions, and I'm seeing and witnessing and experiencing things that I'm like, I don't think so. Okay, barium, all this stuff, lithium salts. I don't know about a lot of this stuff. Reactive to water. You know what's very concerning is that these people who are opposing the chemtrail theory, who are not really involved, I don't think, with this particular site, just have to obsessively combat people who are saying, well, what about this? Well, why am I witnessing this and this is happening? And these people have not proven to be experts. The citizens of our country seem to be more expert just based on using critical thinking. And of course, the first thing that somebody who might be hired to purposely want people to not pay attention or solve this problem would be hired to say, make sure you belittle these people and say, hey, you got to use critical thinking. But they are using critical thinking, but this dude, one of these, is trying to control the narrative. And they've got like this tag team going on here. You know, saying, oh, contrails, people just want to believe that they are sinister. But you gotta wonder, why do we have them anyway? And why are these people just so, you know, within days, there's at least 2 or 3 posters here that just really want you not to believe that there's something wrong going on. And it's like, well, what's your problem? Why? Normal people, you can tell because they'll post and they go on with their regular lives. These other people are just like not wanting people to be asking the questions. So I'm suspicious of them right away. Oh, and this one poster saying, yeah, people just want to drown themselves in denial. But yet he hasn't proven his point that what's going on in the sky isn't sinister. All I know is by comparison that, you know, people are obviously getting sick, and there's a problem here. And all I know is that we were having very weird symptoms, and then when we do something like avoiding the outside air as much as possible, we don't have problems anymore. It just disappears. So, you know, that's critical thinking right there. Something tells me. Oh, and let me just tell you my experience too. When I was starting to talk about how I cured my cancer and everything that I went through, which is fully documented and scientific and rational, and I have evidence of it, I was getting people posting saying, let's harass, you remember that? And then we have screenshots. It was Josh and Seth. Do we have another battery? This one maybe? Yeah. This one's about to go out. And we actually addressed everything that they said. And, you know, basically we were saying that you look like reasonable, nice people, but you're wrong. Wait, that's not mine. Oh, okay. What are you doing? Hold on. Let's put that in the back here. Okay. So let me put this down here. Oh my God, how is this happening? Why is this so complicated? Is the Marmalade Cafe open by any chance?
I don't know.
Would you mind go look? Because I need some kind of soup.
Alright. Mm-hmm. You want to get what you usually get there?
Yes, please. That would be divine. So, yeah, let's get back to Josh and some. So oh, this is trippy. Look at when I lean in closer, the lens, you can see where the curve of the lens is because it makes my face look weird. Whoa! I didn't think there was distortion. Oh no, look, you can see it. There's distortion here too. It curves a little, but not that much. We need to get a better lens.
Yeah.
Is this actually a telephoto lens, do we know?
I don't know. I can maybe look at the settings because there might be a thing where it's making it wider for some reason.
Just be careful. Okay. So we said, no, you're not going to try to thrash me and trash everything here. You're going to basically be good human beings, which I know you can be. And why the hell do you care what kind of treatment I got? I'm always for get whatever you need to survive. It is your life and you're precious and you're worth it. So fight for your life and save it and just tune everybody out. Really, some people have gotten cured with traditional, chemicals and stuff. Some people died from it. Proven. Some people did what I did and they didn't survive, obviously. But you have to find what works for you. And I'm not the one who's going to say, thus saith the Lord, you can only do this. So, bing, we're done with that. Now, here's the other thing too. What is my expertise in this? Well, I was mentored by several scientists. And if I finished my education in about a year, I would have my master's degree in, so I want to say, I could either go with psychology, yes, or I could go with any medicine, really. Yeah, those things don't interest me anymore. I think I can help humanity more just by doing this. It'll be cheaper for me, number one, less time consuming, and I'm an artist. I'm a performing artist, and I'm really kind of done with the institution thing, These people are getting more and more warped, and I can't handle it. I know more than instructors, and I'm like, Yeah, people are kind of going all out on this thing, saying it's the CIA, saying it's this and that. Okay, so let's get back to they eat their own type of thing. They will. They will risk their own. Now, I don't know if it's for world dominance. I don't know if it's for control. I don't know if it's for all the money in the world. Maybe it's a little bit of everything. I don't know. And here's the thing. People are trying very hard to not let the truth be known. Whatever that truth is, I don't know exactly, but we're uncovering what we have uncovered, and I want to keep doing it because there's some truth to be found. There's factual truth. That means it's not my slanted point of view or their slanted point of view or even any point of view. It is factual truth. Somebody knows what the hell's going on factually. So I'm going to find out. I have every right to, and so do you. So ask the questions. So I applaud all these people that want to find out. What I don't applaud is the name calling in public. Ouch. I do it sometimes too. But I'm calling myself out too. These people are worse than me. Now behind the scenes, I'm worse than them probably. And some of these look like excerpts of our private conversations. I would like to see someone do a real test on soil and water. Oh, then you'll like us. So everybody, you need to start looking at crop dusting to understand this better. because that is where we're at, or skywriting. Remember, Joe loves Samantha. Will you marry me? Whatever. Skywriting. And when people are combative like this to the extent where they have to make sure that they get the last word in instead of just saying what they're going to say and say, okay, well, we're going to disagree. Depending on what it is. You know, if somebody is like trying to do evil to me, I'm going to make sure that I fight it and not let them win, of course. But something like this, I don't know. It's kind of weird that they have to combat it so much. Choose peace again. Now, this says you reject anything by experts or authorities to try to assuage your own failures in life. Okay, that somebody's failures in life shouldn't even be drawn into this argument, number one. Number two, I found that a lot of people unfortunately trust these authority figures because some of them are bad actors. You know what I'm saying? They're frauds. Go to Enron. Go to, what is it? PG&E, whatever the hell that company was called. There's a lot of people, fraudsters. We have jails for a reason because this kind of stuff happens. And there was a thing, not in my personal past, but somebody who I trusted who was supposed to be an authority figure in the medical profession was actually put in jail for fraudulence. I'm like, oh, that's a problem. Again, it wasn't me. It was somebody else. So, you know, this stuff happens. And it's also a known fact that there are gatekeepers in this world, and they actually allow people who really aren't qualified, but they have weak enough minds and they can be used as pawns and peons. They let them pass the test in any of the fields. We have 7 pillars of society. Do you know what they are? There are frauds in each pillar. Why do you think our world is in so much chaos? Go to the Better Business Bureau site. Look up any of your favorite businesses or any of them. They have really, really bad ratings, worse than ever, and it got worse after 2016. And it was already on a decline because a lot of these businesses, unfortunately, they don't care. It's all about getting information from people, their emails, if they're, you know, web host site, emails, whatever. We know this because it's obviously happening to us. And so, how does this all coincide with what's going on up here? Well, I just think it's all connected somehow. I don't know how, but we're going to figure that out. Ooh, they had it, right?
Yes.
Awesome beans.
Although they were just closing their kitchen.
Well, how about that for timing? What is this?
That's mine.
Oh, sorry. All right, onward. So we're going to continue this.